Hello, friends and foes. We're going to wrap up this Congress unit with a end on a low note about how a bill does or does not become law. I hope you guys are having a good Dr. King holiday, out doing some good service for your community. Even though I realize that this was recorded on Monday and you can't be watching this until Tuesday, so that either makes me or you a time traveler. Either way, that's where we stand. So the process of how a bill becomes a law can be very simple or very complicated. And unfortunately, you guys are in a college class and you've got to get the complicated way. Say la vie, right? Good news is I have a few resources that walk you through the process of this. I'm going to hit the high notes here. But this is one of those lessons where you really need to dig deep into the process of and dig deep into the videos because the videos are going to really elaborate on what's going on. The I'm Just a Bill video, good news, it's here. It should make you happy because, that's a thing you remember from back in the day, right? Looks like I need to grab that. Hang on just a second. Okie dokie. And we will put that here. New slide. And I have all sorts of fun things here. So there we go. That's Schoolhouse Rock. That's for the children, and that's going to be your basic setup here. And so maybe I'm Just a Bill would be a better one to start with. Probably the best layout of how a bill becomes a law is going to be the crash course episode here, and that's a really good place to do your notes from. And then another really good place to do your notes from is this lesson that's coming up right now, my friend. All right, so the first thing is a bill has to be introduced. And when it is introduced, it can only be introduced by a congressperson, a House member or senator, and it is thrown into the hopper. It's a literal box that they put pieces of paper in. You'll probably see on the GOPO exam abbreviations HR or S, and that just means where they originated from. Please remember that only a congressperson can introduce a bill. Anybody can write it. So before Osama bin Laden was killed, if you believe that, Osama bin Laden could have written a bill as long as he could talk somebody into to putting it in the hopper, because Osama bin Laden could not put it in the hopper because he's not a member of Congress yet. Okay. And so once it's put in the hopper, it's going to be placed in a committee. And we're going to start here with a bill that is placed that starts in the House. So the Speaker of the House has a whole lot of power, and they determine what committee the bill goes to. And usually it's like a common sense place. And so we're going to talk about an electric car bill here. And so the Speaker of the House is going to put that in the Energy and Commerce Committee. Now, here's the thing. If the Speaker of the House does not like the bill, they cannot put it in any committee, and it Okay. Now, in committee, we are going to have a. I got to put this on the place. So in committee, it's going to go like this. The committee chair is going to be in charge of the committee, and they're going to take that bill and send it down to a subcommittee. Okay? In the subcommittee, here's a word you need to know, friends. The bill is marked up. They call it markup. And so in the subcommittee, they're like, no, take this part out. Let's write that in. And so I'm the one that turned the bill in to put it in the hopper, right? But it's this other group that edits it, trying to get ready to go out to the whole floor. Here, the subcommittee is going to vote on the bill. And if the majority of the subcommittee likes it, they're going to send it back up to committee. Now, remember this. Whichever party has the majority in the House is going to have the majority on every subcommittee and every committee. And also, the committee chair and the subcommittee chair is going to be of the majority party as well. So we start with the bill here at the committee level. It's sent down to the subcommittee for markup. It's sent back up to the committee again. And then the committee the whole committee is going to decide whether or not it goes out to the floor. All right. In this place, they can say, yeah, let's put it on the floor. The committee can also amend it. The committee can also completely change it. And the committee can also, and here's another fun word, can pigeonhole the bill. And to pigeonhole, think of it as taking the piece of paper and folding it up and putting it in a little shelf here. And we're going to call that the pigeonhole. And nobody can get to it anymore. And the truth is, the Speaker of the House can pigeonhole, and also the committee can pigeonhole. And so and think about this too. If you're the minority party and you propose a bill, your bill is probably going to get pigeonholed because the majority party can outvote it. And also the Speaker of the House is probably going to pigeonhole it because they don't like you. And the committee is probably going to pigeonhole it because they don't like you. It's fun. It's like a bunch of shady teens, right? So most bills are pigeonholed. And if the committee says, let's send it out to the floor, guess where it goes? To the floor. But we're in the House, so we have to have a stoplight before it can come on through. And that's the House Rules Committee. Remember that there's no Rules Committee in the Senate, and the reason for that is the Senate is smaller and it's easier for people to have like an actual conversation. There's only 100 people there, whereas in the House there's 435 people, if you want to call them people. And the Rules Committee sets up how long it can be, how long they can debate it. Can they have amendments? What kind of amendments they can have? When they're going to amend it? And we are pausing right now, my friends. As you may have guessed, my car warranty is running out. And so thank God they're giving me that call to fix my car warranty. So we're back to the Rules Committee, and this is another place where the House Rules Committee or any group of people of the majority can kill the bill. All right. Now, we are going to go on to the whole floor. Okay, so this is the House. I'm going to say whole floor. And this is 435 votes. All right, there's a few different types of votes. The first one is A's and nays, ayes. I guess they say aye. And yeses and nos. There's also stand up if you want to vote for it, or sit down. There's also a teller vote where the teller of the floor goes around and like writes down who votes for what. And the one that you'll see a lot of is the roll call, where up on a board there'll be all the Congress people's names and red lights beside the ones that said no, and green lights beside the ones that said yeah. And so this is I'm blanking. Simple majority. Okay. And that means if one more person votes for it, then votes against it, then it goes on. And remember, the majority, the majority party here is going to have all the power. So the majority party is going to work this bill into the committee, into the subcommittee, back up to the committee, back up to the whole floor. And then when it gets back to the whole floor, more than likely they are going to vote. It's going to get out of the House. Okay. And then we move on to, I want to show you what this looked like. So can I zoom? No, of course I can't zoom. Oh, it's broken. Hopefully you can see that. And so this is what a roll call vote looks like. Electronic roll call, where you have the yeas and the nays. Now, so congratulations, Bill, you got out of the House. Cool. Now let's go over to the Senate, because remember, the simple answer to how a bill becomes a law, it goes to House 1, it goes to House 2, President signs it. Okay, but we're going to see how a little bit more complicated it gets when we get to the Senate. So just like the Speaker of the House is in charge of the House, technically, the president pro tempore is in charge of the Senate. And remember that technically the president of the Senate is the vice president of the U.S., okay? And then the person who runs the show when the vice president isn't there is the president pro tempore. But the person who really has the power in the Senate is the majority leader, the House majority leader. And that's why your boy Mitch McConnell has had so much power, is because he's been the House majority leader since 2010, 12, maybe 12. But yeah. So the bill goes over to the Senate, and then we get the exact same process again. Okay. And we have, just like the House, it's going to go down to committee. It's going to go to subcommittee. And in the subcommittee, they're going to do markups. And then after that, it's going to go to the whole floor for a vote. But please remember, my guys, they can pigeonhole it. They can just say, and it's dead. And, if the minority party gets it through the House, if the majority party gets it through the House, which they should, right? And it goes over to the Senate, and the parties are flipped, right? So this is how it worked before 2021. So we had a House that was Democratic and a Senate that was Republican. So the Democrats in the House would make all these bills, right? Send it over to the Senate, and the Senate had majority Republicans, and they just kill it. And that's not saying mean old Republicans in the Senate do this stuff, because they do the exact same thing the other ways around, right? The Senate creates a bill, they pass it, it goes over to the House, and then the Democrats stomp it, right? So just like in the House, it will go to the floor for a vote. And you must know about the filibuster. Now, we had a whole few slides about the filibuster earlier in the unit. But remember that a senator can talk as long as they want to. Okay, so remember that we had a Civil Rights Act of 1964. Question mark. Remember that? We should have had a Civil Rights Act in 1957, but your boy here, Strom Thurmond, noted racist Strom Thurmond, is going to do probably the most famous filibuster in history, which is he just reads the Bible. And in reading the Bible for 24 hours and 18 minutes, he blocks the Civil Rights Act of 1957. And just like I said in the earlier lesson, all the process can go through on the discussion on the bill on the floor, but at any time, a senator can start talking, and when the timer runs out, if the senator's still talking, then the bill is dead. That's what a filibuster is. But maybe, just maybe, it goes through the Senate, and we're going to move on to this just in a second. But I want to point out this idea of divided government. Divided government is more on the politics side than the government side, but it's three things. It's the president, the Senate, and the House. And we got to get all three of them, President, Senate, House, on the same page. But since Nixon in the 60s and 70s, for the most part, we've not had a Republican president, Republican House, Republican Senate, or vice versa. Okay, and what that means is not a lot gets done. Okay, 2021, 2020, technically 2021. So in November of 2020, the Democrats kept the House. Joe Biden was elected president. And then in 2021, because there was a runoff, the Democrats took the Senate. So now since a while, we have a situation where we don't have divided government. So the Democrats are likely to get more laws passed than Democrats or Republicans have in the past. However, Republicans can filibuster. Okay. And so they can really, that's the one thing they have. That's the power of the minority in the House. And so that's really important. So remember, every time we've talked about this, the minority is getting screwed. But in this situation, the minority has some power. All right. Now, so Senate's going to vote on the bill. The Senate says yay. And the simple answer, it goes to the president, but we have to come back down again. And we're coming back down to conference committee. All right. Conference committee is a joint committee of the House and the Senate. And it's usually people that wrote the bill or not really. Well, the person that wrote the bill is going to be on conference committee, but also like the committees, members from each committee that passed it from the Senate and the House are going to be there too. Now, so we get Democrats and Republicans in a room and we say, agree. And if they don't agree on exactly the same bill, it's dead. And And so if it is, so when I switched over to Google Slides, it moved my skull and crossbones around. It's driving me nuts. Once conference committee agrees, then it has to go back to the whole floor again. The bill that both houses agree on comes out and goes to the president. Now, if the president is the same party as the party that's pushing the bill, congratulations, you are a law. However, if the president does not like it, we're going to have a veto. So the president can sign it. It's a law. President can veto it. All right. And if the president vetoes it, it is dead. But Congress can override it. This happens very rarely because we have to have 2/3 of both houses. Well, guess how many times 2/3 of a house, of a chamber, of the Senate or the House, is of one party, right? Now, I would like to tell you that I'd like to tell you that a lot of times the Republicans are like, or a Republican member of the Senate's like, I know that the Republicans are saying we should vote this way, but, really, I'm representing my people, and I'm going to vote the other way of my party. Or a Democrat sees a law that's coming through that the Democrats are really pushing, and he's like, no, I can't do that, and they vote against the party. But that so rarely happens. It so rarely happens. Another kind of tricky thing that you'll see on GOPO exams is, what if the president does nothing? If the president does nothing, it sits on their desk for 10 days, and then after day 10, it becomes a law. And why would a president do that? A president would do that because they know that it's going to be overridden by 2/3 of both houses, and they don't want to put their name on a law. They say, I'm against it. I'm not going to sign it, but I'm also not going to veto it because it's going to get overridden. And so that makes it a law. And then we have the pocket veto. This has nothing to do with the president putting anything in their pocket. It is more, they have less than 10 days in the session, in the congressional session. And the president doesn't want to veto it because the president can veto it, say there's 9 days left. If the president vetoes it, it can go back to Congress and Congress can override the veto, right? So instead, 9 days left, I'll just leave it on my desk. It'll die on day 10 and Congress doesn't have a chance to override it. And then so what we say, it's kind of like the president puts it in their pocket, okay? And so that's a veto. And then, but say a president signs it. Oh, this is old. I have Barack Obama. I haven't even caught up to President Trump. So let's move over here and let's give Trump some love. Signing bill. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Replace our boy Barack Obama there. There is President Trump, and we don't have any pictures of President-elect Biden just yet. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick review for you, and this puppy right here. It's not literally a puppy, okay, guys, is this lesson I have just taught you simplified into an infographic. So I'm going to try to make it large and in charge for you. Let me see, maybe I can even zoom more. Okay, Q. All right. My picture is flickering on this, and I hope it's not flickering for you because you might have a seizure. If you have a seizure, make sure to let someone know. Okay. That's really freaking me out. Like the video of my face is going, ah. Well, all right. So, I would really love to record this video again. Ugh. All right. So, first thing, we write the bill, and the bill can start in the House or the Senate. Okay, just like we said, HR number for House of Representatives, Senate number, S number for Senate. It goes to the committee. Okay, and it's put on the desk of the committee chair, or put on a calendar, is what they'll say. After committee, it goes. Now, this doesn't say subcommittee, but definitely write in subcommittee here because subcommittee is where the markup happens, and we talked about that earlier. They can vote on. They can vote to report on the bill, and what that means is they report back to the committee. Okay, and then that report goes to the floor. So, hey, floor, we think this will be a good bill to vote on. Or, hey, floor, this is shady. We don't want to do this. All right. After that, we go to what your boy called the whole floor, right? Over in the Senate, it goes to the floor for debate and votes. Over in the House, debate and votes. But don't forget the traffic cop here, the Rules Committee. All right. Now, we get a vote. It goes through, and we got a majority in the Senate. Okay. What we have to do now is go to conference committee. They're going to resolve differences, and then it's going to go all the way back up to the whole floor again. Okay, the whole floor of both houses agrees that it's a good bill, and then the president is going to sign or veto it. Remember, if the president vetoes it, 2/3 of each house can override it. Okay, and so that's kind of the long and short of how a bill becomes a law. I have some. Please pay good attention to these videos, especially the How a Bill Becomes a Law video. This is a good one because it's a video about some of the things that some of the political parts of how a bill becomes a law that's kind of overlooked. And then finally, I'll leave you with how a bill does not become a law. From Saturday Night Live. And I don't know if they're going to block Saturday Night Live for you, but if they do, don't worry about it. Remember that you're turning in your notes over this lecture and also a question from each video. Take it super, super seriously. Where we're looking at what's coming up, make sure you know what's happening on the schedule, that this lesson is going to be due on Thursday at 8 a.m., then we're moving on to review, and the review information is going to be due next Tuesday, and then we're going to our exam on Thursday. So that is where we stand. And remember our Thursday Q&A sessions that are happening Thursdays at 6 for you guys, and I'd really be pumped to see a whole lot more of you guys there. Also want to remind you about the ACT workshops that are happening on Fridays there's one at 11 a.m. with me, and there's also one at 1 p.m. With Ms. Harmon. So I do reading, Ms. Harmon does science. As always, I am here by email. Please feel free to holler at your boy. That's my job. And I hope this was helpful. and I will see you very soon. Bye.